Okay, it's the middle of June. I'm doing another garden update. I keep putting this off because I'm like, oh, there's things I want to do before I show it to you again. But really, I'm just going to show you the garden in its current state. These are, why can't I remember, dogwood, and they're kind of taking over. So I'm probably going to move these. I forget what these are called. They're perennial, but I didn't want to move them before they bloomed. I wanted them to have their show, and then I'll move them, you know, later on. These are in full bloom too. It's some type of dianthus, I believe. It is a perennial. And we have been having a heat wave. We've had many days now at 90 degrees, above 90 degrees. It's been very hot. And our plants aren't used to that. So if you notice things look a little dry, our tree that we planted is getting scorched. I mean, it hasn't been easy for the flowers and the plants. But anyway, and then my big pot here is filling in really nicely. I kept it very simple this year. I just went with white wave petunias, pink geraniums, some you'll see in other buckets, pink wave petunias, and then some spillers. So, all right, bring you to the next section. Okay, so I'm not going to show you the porch just yet because I think I'm going to do a separate video on that. But this is basically the selection of plants that I did around the front porch. So yeah, they're doing pretty well. Again, I've really been trying to stay on top of watering them because it's been so hot. Hard to keep potted plants alive when it's so hot. So here's the front garden. I've done a lot here since you last saw it. So I went to a lady's plant sale and she had all these free plants. So I don't even know what they are. I think she said that's like a perennial geranium or something. I can't exactly remember what she said. Actually, she didn't even have a tag on it. And that was sedum that I picked up from her. Sorry for the airplanes and the birds. And I got these from her as well. There's some kind of ground cover sedum. I think that one I had purchased. I don't remember. But that was also from her. Right here, another sedum. And then a hosta from her. So they're doing well. I can do so with hostas, if they have like a bluish leaf, you should keep them in the shade. They don't like the sun. But the ones with yellow in the leaves, they will turn more yellow in the sun, but they can tolerate sun. And that one will do fine once it's established. Right now, it's just in shock because it's just recently been planted. And so it doesn't have a good root system. You see, these don't wilt at all. And they've been here now like 3 years or something. Planted a heuchera. I forget what kind that is. That type can handle a little bit of sun. Again, this only gets afternoon sun. So, but overall, I'm liking the way the mulch looks. Oh, and my lilies are in bloom over there, if you see them. Right over there. Those are my daylilies. They are blooming. These lilies are also in bloom. These came from a neighbor a few years ago. I think this one and this one are different kind. Something's raining down on us. Hopefully it's not bird poop. Nope, it's tree stuff. These are a different kind. I think these are red. And then the yellow one in the middle. And then these are all the yellow. And I actually bought these to match what the neighbor had given me. And I just planted 3 of these. Heucherella. It's like a mini heuchera. And then this heuchera is fire alarm. My little hydrangea needs some water. But it'll perk up once I water it. This is just our utilities area. So nothing much to speak of. I planted these a few years back. So they're doing really well. They're I think they've been here. This is their 3rd year coming. I think I planted them and then they came up last year and then this is like their 3rd year. So I mulched here this year. This is all new mulch. More lilies. They are suffering with the heat. But I will get them watered. You can see I have my sprinkler ready to go. I'll get them watered in a little bit. Here's my veggie garden. You might be wondering what that is. I shaded the veggie garden so that the lettuce wouldn't bolt. So if you're not familiar, lettuce will make flowers and then the leaves taste terrible. So I managed to keep it from bolting. Hasn't bolted yet. These came up so fast. These are beans. They come up so fast. I planted them and within it was bizarre. Within 3 days, it's because the ground is so warm that they just popped up. So these haven't been here very long. And then here, this is all zinnia. Whoops, right? All of that. And I always plant zinnias here just because they look pretty. Those are my strawberries. I will pick those. I've gotten a bunch of strawberries already. I tied back the asparagus ferns. I'm supposed to clip them back, I think, in the fall. And I planted a bunch of sunflowers. Only one came up. They were old seeds, and I thought I was just kind of trying them out to see if they would work, and they didn't. But I got my peas, and because of the shade cover, they are still doing okay. So this seems to be helping. It still gets enough sun because it gets morning sun, but this is blocking it from like the heat of the afternoon. Okay, these are my herbs, and I don't remember what's what. That's parsley for sure. And then one of them is basil. No, one of them is oregano, and one of them is lemon balm. I have a feeling, well, let's see if we can tell. Because lemon balm, oh yeah, that's definitely lemon balm. So this is lemon balm, and this is some type of oregano. And they're doing great. I don't know why I did this one in rows when I did a scatter on these. I don't know why. I should have scattered them. But if you saw my dish garden video on my DIY channel, I mentioned that we're painting the deck. So that's what's happening. We've been throwing a tarp over the shrubs so we don't get paint on them. These are our orange, what are they called? Mock orange. Mock orange. They're kind of finishing up, and they did get wilted last night, but they smell wonderful. So those will be great. I just wanted to have and we're going to put a piece of lattice here. This is a very utilitarian space here, and we like to put our chairs under there if it's going to be a bad storm or whatever. But I kind of want to block it from the street because right now we don't have a fence. So I thought a piece of lattice, which we already have, you can see it, and then some shrubs in front of it, and that'll just make a nicer barrier. This is probably my favorite thing we've done this year. We put stepping stones. You saw us buy those in a vlog. I know someone had mentioned possibly making them, but I just wanted to put them down. I love these things because this is my potting bench here, which is in disarray because of the painting project. And then that's our shed. And so it's so great to be able to walk and not kill our feet because the rocks hurt so bad. So, and then here's the dish garden. We're a week out, but again, it's been so hot that it really hasn't done much. And I haven't put any fertilizer on it or anything, so it's not in full bloom yet. It'll take a few weeks, and hopefully it cools down just a little bit. The heat is supposed to break. This is my evening primrose in bloom. This it might be a weed, but it's kind of pretty. At night it gets those flowers open. I don't know why. So it's probably a weed, but I thought it was pretty enough to stay. And then this I had to move. I had planted this in this garden. So you see, this is fenced off. So I put everything that the bunnies really like in here to so that I don't have to just plant bunny-proof plants. So this, the bunnies loved. They devoured it last year. So I moved it in here, and now it's actually able to bloom. And these are echinacea or cone flowers, and this is pincushion flower that I also got from a yard sale. And these are asters. They're gorgeous. They're purple. The deer love them. The deer have not found them yet. I've sprinkled them with stuff. We'll see. I'm thinking of putting an Irish spring right here. Maybe that'll keep the deer away. But there's a lily nestled in there. I'm going to move it once it blooms. I didn't want to mess it up because it's, getting ready to bloom. But I'm going to move it because the primrose is aggressive and you have to keep on top of it. So I don't want the lily to be there kind of surrounded by the primrose. I'm going to move the lily. I moved a part of it here, but I think I'm going to move the whole thing. This is bee balm. Hasn't bloomed yet. I just got a few sprigs of it from a friend one year. And actually that might be one that I purchased last year. I think it is. That was also over here, and I had to move it because of the animals. But here's my one bird bath. I'm standing in its sun, so it's not. So it only goes when it's full sun. It only gurgles when it's full sun. But the birds love this thing. They're in it all the time. They stand on that and get their wings. They stand on the little solar thing. It's great. They love it. And I just planted these 3 grasses, and they'll get this feather grass, so it'll get featheriness in the fall. And then we just planted this. This is called a false spirea, and I dropped something in the middle. So that's why it has a hole in the middle. And this is an old shrub that I hard cut back, to like 8 inches. I was actually going to take it out, but when I cut it back, it looks nice now. So I just left it. And then here's my very sad hydrangea, which I planted. It's supposed to be able to tolerate some sun, but I planted it right before the heat wave. So the part that's in less sun is doing better. But again, I think next year, once it establishes a root system, it'll be fine. And this guy is full sun, but he just can't tolerate this like heat that we've been having. So this guy's losing some needles, but hopefully he'll pull through. His name's Albert. We planted this on Mother's Day, but we do have a guarantee. We bought him from Bachman's, and that they guarantee their shrubs for like a year. So if it happens to die, we can get a new one, but hopefully that won't happen. And then here's a hydrangea. I moved this a few years ago to back here, so it's doing really well. I did get some paint on it, but you know. And this is my random bucket. Oops. I just needed something to put this in. I had this one cherry vanilla petunia that I had out front, and it was getting so scorched because the sun is so hot out front, which is why I did geraniums, because it's like they can tolerate anything. So I moved it back here, and now it's blooming and happy. And then I just stuck some like random stuff that I had. This was a leftover from a planting. I was planting them in the front garden, and I didn't need that one. And these are just pieces, just stick them in the ground, in the dirt, and they will just grow. So that's what that is. This guy is going to get planted into this puppy dog pot. I haven't finished mulching this side of the garden yet. I got this edger tool that I love. And like, so you cut out an edge, and then you backfill it with mulch, and it just looks nice. It'll look nicer once it's mowed. So that's this. It'll all just look better once it's mowed. And then I got, once it's mulched, I got these two clematis, and I got a thing for them to climb. I just haven't had a chance to plant them yet. That is the garden as it currently stands. This is real life YouTube. So a little bit of chaos back here. I hope you're having a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.